They told me this place wasn't of this world. And looking out now, I think they were right. It's Socotra, a fragment of an ancient continent, drifting alone in the vast blue of the Arabian Sea. Stepping off the plane, the wind hits you first. It's warm, smelling of dry earth and old, forgotten salt. Everything here defies logic. The shapes, the colors. It's like walking through a dream you haven't had yet. Forget everything you know about travel. This isn't a destination. It's an awakening of the soul. The road from the airport is a ribbon of asphalt, winding between jagged peaks and a shore that never ends. There are no crowds here, no neon lights, just the raw, unfiltered pulse of a planet left untouched. My guide Abdullah smiles at me. He says, "Welcome home, even if you've never been here before." We head toward the interior. The dust kicks up behind us, like a golden veil against the deep red soil. The first thing you notice is the silence. It's heavy, thick with the weight of 1,000,000 years. And then I see them, standing like silent sentinels on the edge of the limestone cliffs. The dragon blood trees. Their branches reach upward, like veins, trying to touch the burning sky. They look like umbrellas, turned inside out by a storm that happened centuries ago. I walk up to one and touch the bark. It's rough, weathered by a sun that doesn't show mercy. Legend says, when the bark is cut, the tree bleeds a deep, crimson resin, the blood of dragons. I find a small crystal of it on the ground. It's dark red, cold, and holds the mystery of the island in my palm. In the Dixam Plateau, thousands of these trees huddle together. It feels like a prehistoric forest. I half expect to see a creature from another era, stepping out from behind the twisted trunks. The shadows here are long and blue. They stretch across the rocks as the sun begins its slow descent. There's a strange energy in the air, a vibration that you feel in your chest more than you hear. We set up camp as the light turns to honey. The smell of wood smoke begins to drift through the cool air. Dinner is simple: fresh bread, honey from the mountains, and tea that tastes like wild herbs and smoke. Tonight, the stars are so bright, they cast shadows on the ground. I've never seen the Milky Way look so thick. It's as if the ceiling of the world has been stripped away, leaving us exposed to the infinite. I lie awake for a long time, listening to the wind, whispering through the dragon blood branches. Above my tent, morning comes with a soft, pink glow. The mist sits low in the canyons, like a silent white lake. We trek down into Wadi Khalasan. The path is steep, and the limestone crumbles under my boots. But then, the view opens up. Deep, turquoise pools, carved into the white rock, like jewels. I dive into the water. It's cool, bracing, and so clear I can see my own shadow on the bottom. I float there for a while, looking up at the canyon walls, where bottle trees cling to the vertical cliffs. Those bottle trees, they look like bloated alien sculptures. Strange, beautiful, and completely unique. Their pink flowers bloom against the gray stone, a sudden delicate contrast to the harsh landscape. Nature here didn't follow the rules, it made its own. And the result is breathtakingly weird. We move toward the coast. The landscape shifts from rugged mountains to dunes of blindingly white sand. At Archer Beach, the dunes are hundreds of feet high. They lean against the black cliffs like giant frozen waves. I climb to the top. Every step is a struggle, the sand sliding away beneath my feet. But the summit, oh, the summit. On one side, the dark mountains. On the other, the endless sapphire ocean. The wind up here is fierce. It whips my hair and carries the roar of the surf up the slope. I sit there, feeling small. A tiny speck of life between the desert and the deep. I run down the dune, laughing like a child. The sand sings under my feet, a low humming vibration. Then there is Calancia, a place that looks like the world's most beautiful watercolor painting. The Detwa Lagoon is a swirl of turquoise, white, and emerald. It's almost too much for the eyes to take in. I walk across the tidal flats at low tide. The water is ankle deep and warm, like a bath. Stingrays glide past my feet, their movements fluid and ghostly in the shallows. I meet a local fisherman named Eli. He has lived by this lagoon his entire life. He shows me a sea urchin and tells me stories in the Socotra language. It sounds like birdsong and clicking stones. He doesn't have much, but he offers me his catch. His kindness is as deep as the sea he fishes. We sit on the sand and eat. No forks, no plates, just the taste of the ocean and the warmth of the sun. This is the heartbeat of Socotra. Not just the trees, but the people who belong to this land. They live in harmony with the cycles of the moon and the shifting of the monsoon winds. There is a wisdom here that we've lost in the cities, a sense of being exactly where you are. We drive to Hawk Cave, a massive opening in the side of a mountain overlooking the sea. We trek for hours in the midday heat. The air is dry, and the cicadas provide a constant buzzing soundtrack. Entering the cave is like stepping into a cathedral. The darkness is absolute until the flashlights flick on. Miles of stalactites hang from the ceiling. They look like frozen rain or the teeth of a sleeping giant. Ancient inscriptions on the walls, left by sailors 2,000 years ago. They were here, just like me. They saw this same darkness. They felt the same awe. The thread of time feels very thin here. I turn off my light for a moment. The darkness is so heavy, you can almost feel it against your skin. I can hear the heartbeat of the mountain, a slow, steady drip of water hitting stone. Back outside, the light is blinding. The world feels new again, vivid and full of life. We head to the southern coast, to Aomak, where the Indian Ocean crashes against the shore with raw power. The waves here are different. They feel older, more aggressive. The spray coats everything in a fine mist of salt. I walk along the beach for miles, finding shells that look like they belong in a museum. I don't see another person, just the crabs, scuttling across the wet sand, and the hawks circling above. There is a profound loneliness here, but it's not sad. It's liberating. You realize the world doesn't need us. It breathes and shifts and exists, all on its own. I find a small cove hidden by rocks. The water is still and the color of a peacock's feather. I spend the afternoon there, writing in my journal, trying to capture the uncapturable. How do you describe a place that feels like it's from a different dimension? As the sun sets, the sky turns a bruised purple. The stars begin to pop out, one by one. I think about the dragon blood trees, standing in the dark on the plateau, I think about the people in Haribo, sharing tea and laughter in the dusty streets. Socotra isn't just an island. It's a portal, a glimpse into what the Earth was before we arrived. It's a reminder of how beautiful and strange and fragile our world really is. My last morning arrives, and I don't want to leave. I feel like I'm leaving a part of myself behind. I take one last walk through the dunes. The sand is cool, and the air is perfectly still. I look at the horizon, where the blue of the sea melts into the blue of the sky. There is no line, just an infinite, beautiful nothingness. Abdullah shakes my hand. "You will come back," he says. The island, it calls to those who listen. As the plane lifts off, I look down at the jagged peaks and the clusters of dragon blood trees. They look so small from here, so isolated. A tiny emerald in a vast blue desert. My heart feels heavy, but full. I've seen something that most people will only see in dreams. I close my eyes, and I can still feel the wind. I can still taste the salt on my lips. Socotra, you are a ghost of the past, a beautiful, haunting, and perfect mystery. Thank you for showing me that magic is still very much alive.